Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Stephanie Blanco. I'm the Director of Clinical Education for the Speech Language Pathology program, and we're so grateful to have you here tonight for the White Coat Ceremony for the class of 2026. Thank you for being here. It's an honor to welcome graduate students, faculty, dean and vice dean, family, friends, speakers to this ceremony today. To begin our program, I'd like to introduce our faculty and ask them to please stand. Dr. Vikas Grover, Dr. Monica McHenry, Dr. Kate Franklin, Professor Katie Ballerini, Professor Lindsay Murray-Keene. We're honored to have you here today as well. Thank you. I'd like to now invite Dr. Vikas Grover, Chair of the Department of Rehabilitation Sciences and Chief of the Division of Speech Language Pathology, to say a few words.
Welcome, everyone. So glad that you guys are able to make it today to celebrate this wonderful and exciting day for our students. While we were preparing for this white coat ceremony, I looked at the agenda and it said 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. And you can see those red question marks. I really want to question that. Let's see. We'll talk about it, but let's see. So, Neil Walsh had said, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So for today, let's adapt it to white coat begins at the end of your comfort zone, right? So, Dr. Blanco, did the white coat ceremony really begin today at 5:30 p.m.?
We think it really began much earlier than that.
And she's right. Because you stepped out of your comfort zone when you decided to choose speech language pathology as your career. You knew you'll be dealing with, you'll be working with, you'll be helping individuals who have challenges in their communication. Not easy. So you accepted that.
You stepped out of your comfort zone when you took your prerequisite courses. You learned about the complexities and different layers of communication and how that really starts to get complicated.
When you came to the first class, feeling a little uncomfortable, yet excited for your new journey. I remember some of you saying, I don't know this. How will I do this? One student said, I'm so used to touching my phone all the time in my classes. This is the first class I'm actually not touching my phone. This is scary. It's uncomfortable, right?
When you realized you might need to redesign your learning patterns from undergraduate education to learn new clinical applications. First semester, you get a client. All the research comes in, right? Everything starts to change. The patterns start to get redesigned.
You stepped out of your comfort zone when you sat in the class and thought, this is difficult. One student asked me on the side, can I talk to you for a second? I said, yes. He said, is it okay if I ask a lot of questions? Because I'm not getting it. This is very difficult and I can't get it. But the question was not whether it was difficult or not. The question was, we still managed to sit in that class and say, this is difficult, but I'll make it.
When you completed weekly quizzes and exams with or without remediation, remember?
We love our remediations.
Yeah.
When you received feedback from your professors and clinical educators asking you to change things. And sometimes feedback goes in like a dagger. Say, oh my God, I don't know this. Will I make it? Am I doing enough? Is this for me? But you took it.
When you were in therapy and evaluation sessions with clients with severe challenges and looked to your clinical educator for the next steps, those moments of, oh no, I don't know what to do next, right?
So, Socrates once said, we were taught to memorize answers, but not to question questions. What does that mean? And what does it have to do with the feeling of uncomfortability or stepping out of your comfort zone? It actually means a lot about that, right? It's related to that. The real journey of white coat started when you began questioning questions and using critical thinking. When you understood, wait a minute, we used to ask simple questions, and now we have to think critically and evaluate, is the question that is coming to my mind the real question, or I have to think of questions that are related to the person sitting in front of me. And that is stepping out of your comfort zone.
So what does the white coat generally symbolize? Professionalism, responsibility, commitment?
But we want to bring your attention to some building blocks to these words. The first word that comes to my mind is compassion. The root of the word compassion is to suffer with or fellow feeling. What does it mean to suffer with? Are we going to suffer with the person who is sitting in front of it? No. It's related to the fellow feeling and understanding the suffering, understanding the feeling behind what you are listening to, understanding the feeling of that individual that is sitting in front of you and you are going to be helping him. That word comes to my mind first, right? Second word, humanness. Define state of being a human, but we all are humans. Why are we mentioning this word as a building block? Because in our fast-paced world of AI, everything is ready. We have a ready-made toolkit. It is being reinforced and provided to us in our classrooms. Every subject area, every topic area, we are preparing our toolkit. But is that toolkit going to help us all the time if we don't know the human who we are working with? So humanness is an important aspect of that building block, right? Third word that comes to my mind is service. The act of serving or helping. So let me ask Dr. Blanco a question. Dr. Blanco, I have a toolkit and I have a label to work with. Is that going to help you?
Well, yes and no. The toolkit can help with the label, but it's not going to help you understand my individual need as a person.
Well, how would I get to know that?
You have to listen.
But I am listening.
You have to listen for what the person really is requesting or what the person really needs in that moment to support them.
So you mean I have to come out of myself and inhibit the response that is used to my toolkit and just block that and listen to the person.
And live me.
And live you. And that's what service means, right? So when we think of these words, we think of those building blocks towards that white coat, right? So like in every class, we never keep presenting without asking you guys to complete an exercise or a task. So here it is. Dr. Blanco will tell you what the task is.
Okay, so we have service, diagnosis, compassion, therapy, listening, humanness. Sequence them.
Who wants to volunteer? What do you think? You can help them too.
Mhm.
They are all interconnected. They are all interconnected.
Applause for
right?
Mitch. Thank you for volunteering,
Applause for
Mitch.
Mitch, right?
Thank you for volunteering.
So guys, white coat ceremony is not 5:30 to 7 p.m. only, right? It started a long time ago and it's going to be a lifelong process. This is the time to remind ourselves of the path we are already on. So with that, I want to say congratulations and time to celebrate. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Dr. Grover. I would now like to introduce Rabbi Fogel for the invocation.
Ribon Kol HaOlamim, Master of the world, bless all of those who have assembled here today to take part in the White Coat Ceremony for the Speech Language Pathology Program's White Coat Class of 2026. Almighty God, Rofei Chol Basar Mafli Lasos, healer of all flesh and wonders in your acts, you've been instructed and empowered humanity to provide comfort and aid to all of your children. Before you sit talented women and men ready to shoulder your directive to help and heal the world. Give strength, courage, and fortitude to these students who now prepare to leave the classroom and practice what they have been taught. Grant them the wisdom and the strength to help all those who will benefit from their care and therapy, and the ability to uplift those in need and despair. And above all, we pray that you imbue these women and men with the highest standard of ethics, which are at the core of their training and mission. The white coat not only signifies a transition to patient interaction, it also signifies to yourself and to the world that you are on the front line. You have dedicated yourselves and your future careers to helping, healing, and nurturing others. Your white coat is a symbol of trust and responsibility, and we pray that as you receive this symbol today, the meaning of this coat will inform and enlighten your decisions from this moment onward. We pray that you remember the ethical principles to which you were educated, and that you place the well-being of your patients at the forefront of your deeds and actions, and that you will be exemplary in your caregiving by caring for all those who you encounter. At this auspicious occasion, we pray to you, dear God, that you shower your blessings upon all our students and all their loved ones, parents, spouses, friends, mentors, children, who have helped them reach this milestone, who have sacrificed so much so that our students can persevere and succeed. And we humbly pray to you, God, that you bless the administration, the faculty, the staff of the School of Health Science and the Speech Language Program, dedicated men and women who strive to impart knowledge, achieve excellence, and lead by example. Grant them the wisdom, the resolve, the fortitude to continue their noble mission of educating the next generation of caregivers who will be exemplary in their caregiving. Turi University, as a core mission, was created to serve, strengthen, and really improve your world, dear God. And we ask for your continued divine guidance so that we together can achieve that great potential. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Fogel. I would like to now introduce Dr. Robert Amler, Dean of School of Health Sciences and Practice and Vice President for Government Affairs at New York Medical College.
Good afternoon, everybody, and I think it's time for our class to stand for just a moment, if you will. This is a very wonderful occasion, and let's turn around away from the stage and let's thank all the wonderful family, friends, and loved ones who have made it possible for you to be here today. Let's give them a wave. Let's give them a New York Medical College welcoming cheer. So you may sit. We are so proud of this class, and we've all departed a bit from our comfort zone together. Running a program like this for our faculty, for our great department chair, this is a challenge because we want to make sure that you get it all, that you get all of this great profession and your ability to help literally thousands and thousands of people who will come across your purview as health professionals, including thousands of people who haven't even been born yet. Think about that. Think about that, that you will be helping countless people who haven't even been born yet. And of course, their parents and grandparents and everybody else. So it's a privilege to be your dean, but it's a special privilege to be with you in this momentous occasion, the day that you put on your first white coat. I can think back, I won't say how many years, when I put my coat on for the first time, but there's no question, when you put on this white lab coat, you feel different when you wear it. You'll see in a few minutes what I'm talking about. You feel different because this vestment, literally vestment of trust, of competence, of dedication, all the things you saw on the screen, this becomes part of you. Our chancellor, Dr. Halpern, likes to say, this marks the beginning of the end of narcissism. What does he mean by that? Look, Mom and Dad, I'm in grad school. I'm getting a fantastic degree in speech language pathology. I'm special. And by the way, you are, and you are, and you are. Okay. But much more importantly, you are now invested with the trust, the responsibility, and the ability to help thousands and thousands of people. It's no longer just about me. It's no longer just about you. It's about the people that you will serve. Because let's always remember, no one really cares how much we know until first they know how much we care. Thank you, congratulations, and I pass my time on. To the Honorable Vice Dean of the School of Health Sciences and Practice. He's saying no, no. He's outside his comfort zone, folks. Well, I think your gray coat looks pretty good from here. You may want to give it a shot. Okay, thank you all again. It's a privilege to be your dean. Who's next?
Thank you. Thank you, Dean. Okay. Thank you so much, Dean Amler. And of course, thank you to our Vice Dean, Dr. Ben Johnson as well. Thank you for being here. So grateful. All right, at this time, I'd like to introduce our invited speaker, Dr. Sankranan Krishnan. Dr. Krishnan is the Chief of the Division of Pediatric Pulmonology, Allergy, Immunology, and Sleep Medicine at Boston Children's Health Physicians. He's a pediatric pulmonologist at BCHP and Maria Frere Children's Hospital. He also serves as the Associate Director of the Children's Environmental Health Center of the Hudson Valley and is an Associate Professor of Pediatrics and Public Health at New York Medical College. Please help me in welcoming Dr. Krishnan.
So good evening. I also don't have a white coat on, but I came straight from work, and it's okay not to have a white coat on, right? As long as you're serving patients, and that's what we are all here for. So good evening, Dr. Ambler, Dr. Grover, faculty, proud parents, and most importantly, the SLP class of 2026. You are just in the beginning of your journey, but this is going to take you places that you would not even have imagined. You might wonder, why is a pulmonologist speaking to you today? I mean, I'm not a sleep language pathologist, right? And I don't really deal with your classes. I don't teach you. Why am I here today? Is it just that you need to fill a spot, Dr. Grover? And he said, okay, I'll call my friend Krishnan. He's around. He'll come and just talk to you. So I'm going to reflect on my own journey as a pulmonologist. If you really think about it, a lot of the work that you do and you would do going forward as you take care of patients as a speech language pathologist will directly impact on a vital organ system that I deal with primarily in my job, and that is respiration. If you really think about it, communication involves respiration, and that's what you do. Eating and swallowing involves respiration. Once again, that's what you do. And over the years, I cannot recount the numerous times when I've been so eternally grateful to my colleagues in speech language pathology in helping take care of my patients and making their lives better in addition to everything else that I could have offered them. It might be in figuring out why there is a specific respiratory issue that is disturbing them or making them sick, or finding interventions that can solve the problem. And you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So in fact, I had a long speech, but I was told that I cannot go till 7:30, so that's why I'm cutting it short. It's a lifelong process. So I would, as a clinician who's been doing this for quite a long time, I would encourage or give some words of wisdom that I think are wise to all of you here who are now beginning your first steps into the clinical journey. You must embrace lifelong learning, right? Because you might think, as Dr. Ambler had pointed out and Dr. Grover before that, that you get your classes, you learn your stuff, and we are done. Actually, it just begins there. What you get is just the foundational aspects of medicine. Your patients will teach you much more than any of your books or lectures or classes. So please never forget that as medicine evolves, you have to keep up to date and you have to keep learning. As clinicians, patient-centered care. So very often we get caught into how we practice medicine. It's a series of tasks. There is an insurance process, there is a documentation process, there's a billing process, there is a treatment process, and sometimes the patient-centeredness of it gets lost. So keep in mind that your patient has to be at the center of everything you do. All the other stuff that I just said has to be around it, but your patient should be at the center of your care. Always think about collaboration and establish collaborative relationships. Pulmonologist is just one example. You'll work with multiple specialties who will call upon you for help and advice. It might be your ENT colleagues, it might be gastroenterology colleagues, it might be internists, it might be pediatricians, it might be pulmonologists. Remember, you're part of a team. You're a vital cog in the wheel. You're not an additional care member. And fostering these relationships over time will help you a lot. And even as students, you should look for opportunities to kind of interact outside your comfort zone. That's the key word here today. Always keep ethical integrity at the center of everything you do. Very often we as clinicians come across this dilemma. Should I do this test or not do this test? Should I order this investigation, not order this investigation? Should I use these kind of drugs because they are the latest and greatest? Remember, your ethical integrity is what will define you as a clinician. Always remember, do what is best for the patient and not what is the latest and greatest. And finally, resilience. Each of us in this room, and pardon me, I know there are some seniors of mine who are here in this audience as well. We all go through this, where we will get challenges, whether it is in the course of our clinical care of our patients or whether in our personal lives. Remember, you should always find ways to nurture your resilience. Your family, your proud families are here today. They'll be one source. Your teachers and your seniors will be another source. Friends, whoever you rely on, depend on, keep maintaining those relationships so that you maintain your resilience. These are just a few things that I thought I would mention. I want to congratulate you once again, class of 2026. And I hope in the future, I'll at least see some of you in clinical capacities. And I'm looking forward to the time when we can be colleagues and collaborate and make sure that our patients get the best care possible. Congratulations once again.
Thank you, Dr. Krishnan. I would now like to introduce alumnus, Ms. Anastasia Lysenko from our Speech Language Pathology class of 2024 to say a few words.
So we all have that one thing that we are afraid of. And for me, it's public speaking. Definitely out of my comfort zone. As you can see, I am very nervous, but I will do it anyway. I will do it because it's an honor to come back to the New York Medical College campus as an alumni of the Speech and Language Pathology program to celebrate your special milestone, the White Coat Ceremony. I know that the first 2 semesters of the program are the hardest, so it's very special to go through this ritual of trust, recognition, and celebration. Congratulations all. My name is Anastasia Lysenko. I graduated this program last May in 2024. For the number of times I had to remediate my assignments, you would think that I deserved 2 diplomas. And I actually have 2. One for earning the Master of Science in Speech and Language Pathology, and one for completing the requirements for the specialization track in pediatric dysphagia and early intervention. To me, the White Coat connects with our mission of helping people. As healthcare professionals, we are in this unique position to touch people's lives and leave a positive imprint. The knowledge of evidence, experience, and supervision that we receive in this program gives us this special privilege to treat people, make recommendations, and answer their questions. This concept of the right to help has been on my mind for some time. In 2022, I witnessed a mass crime in New York City where many people were wounded and terrified. My immediate instincts were to get involved and help the people who were dangerously hurt and were alone in the middle of the crime scene. But after the event, I often felt uneasy and worried that I did not have the right to help without having the necessary training and the people's permission. I often wondered, could I have caused harm to these people? And why do I share this with you? Well, we are here at the New York Medical College because we want to help people. And what an honor it is when we are asked for help, when we have the client's permission to touch their lives. Even as students, we're asked to provide therapy. Our clients actually make appointments, show up, participate, pay, and they trust us to do the right thing. What an honor to have the credentials such as education, experience, skills, and evidence at our fingertips so that clients can reach out to us and entrust us with their healing and well-being. I continue to experience this honor firsthand. My clinical fellowship position is with a home care agency, servicing clients across the lifespan in all boroughs of New York City and beyond. I chose this position because it was a startup and it paid a suspiciously generous salary. But now, having worked there for some time, I can say that I love home care. Without sounding too creepy, I love going to people's homes. A big bonus is that my supervisor is very knowledgeable and supportive. She never made me cry. Home care agencies have various business models. I love the autonomy to work with my clients from the beginning. We start with an evaluation, then I write a report and compose a treatment plan. Then I show up for treatment sessions and do my evidence-based magic. Now I have the right training and the client's permission to touch their lives. One of my clients presents with severe flaccid dysarthria and a very quiet voice due to surviving a stroke 10 years ago. In January, her voice loudness was at 25 decibels, and now she speaks at 40 decibels. And she's more intelligible due to utilizing clear speech techniques. In addition to this, last week, she told me that she no longer uses her feeding tube for nutrition and medication, because she now feels comfortable swallowing her food and medication. This progress is because she entrusted me in the process, and she does her voice, clear speech, and breath support exercises daily and independently. I also work at an early intervention agency, Bloomer Health. I once asked Dr. Grover, I said, do you think working in early intervention would be a good outcome of this medically oriented program? I was worried that early intervention would not be stimulating enough for me. And Dr. Grover said, by working with small kids, you can influence their future. True. Let me tell you this. I only have a tiny handful of feeding cases, but working with these babies has been a true adventure. I have gained access to the places I could not have imagined before, and I talked with so many new people. In early intervention, I have seen unconditional love, joy, and sadness. One of my EI clients was born with bronchopulmonary dysplasia and lived in a hospital for many months until he was discharged home with a feeding tube. When I met him for treatment, I noticed that he was afraid of food so much that he learned to speak without opening his mouth. Thankfully, now he is doing really well. And I think it's because his mom listened to my recommendations and found a way to create a shared dinner routine and include her son. I share about these clients and my current work experience to express what a true privilege it is to be a part of people's lives in this capacity. We have been provided with the permission and opportunity to touch many lives through the service of this profession. So go on. So go on and continue doing what you've been doing. Show up for your clients and appointments, ask questions, and be generous with your resources when it comes to learning. I wish you all the best. Good luck, and thank you.
So much. Thank you, Anastasia. I would like to now introduce via video alumnus Ms. Samantha Walker from our speech language pathology class of 2020.
Good evening, Dr. Grover, Dr. Blanco, esteemed New York Medical College faculty, and our soon-to-be SLPs. My name is Samantha Walker, and tonight is one of those rare full circle moments that sort of kind of take your breath away. I am a proud graduate of the New York Medical College Speech Language Pathology program, and I am also the founder and owner of both Speaking of Semantics and the SLP Test Prep. And tonight I have the absolute honor of being your guest speaker and a white coat recipient. But before I step into that role, I wanted to step back into the shoes that I once wore, the same shoes many of you are wearing right now, with that nervous mix of anticipation, pride, exhaustion, and maybe a little imposter syndrome. I've stared at my classmates and thought, they are so confident. How do they just get it? I've sat in clinic and wondered if I was doing enough, if I was good enough. I've cried in my car after sessions. I've blanked out in class. I've gotten feedback that makes me absolutely want to disappear. And that's why it feels surreal to be standing here tonight, not as a perfect product of this program, but as a deeply imperfect person who refused to give up. Now let's clear the air a little. I wasn't the person many people expected to be giving this speech. In graduate school, I was quiet. I was unsure. I didn't stand out for my grades or my confidence or my clinical genius. There are faculty members sitting in this room right now who remember me for all of the wrong reasons. I was that student who sat in Dr. McHenry's office for remediation so many times I could have had a punch card. I was a student who mispronounced a cranial nerve during an anatomy presentation and got called out on stage by Dr. Peters. I've failed Kate and PICO projects. I was a student who turned in a research article, who got it back with feedback that said, you clearly learned nothing from this article. The student who passed the praxis by one point, the student who didn't have a job lined up after graduation, and the student who only got accepted to one graduate program. You might not have known any of this about me, but that's because we really live in a world where we only celebrate people once they've made it. We hear about the accomplishments, we post about the wins, But we skipped the part where we were struggling, where we were falling behind, where we doubted ourselves. And that's the part that I think deserves to be said out loud, especially in rooms like this one. Because if one of you is sitting here and thinking, I'm going to be the one that falls behind, I want you to hear me say this as clearly as possible. You can fail something, you can need remediation, and you can question yourself over and over again and still go on to do something incredible in this field. You do not have to be the best student to be a life-changing clinician. Now, I'm not here tonight in spite of my setbacks. I'm here because of them, because I've let them teach me, I've let them grow, and eventually I just let them go. I think perfection has convinced so many of us that if we don't get it right on the first time, we must not belong here. Or if we don't have straight A's or 4.0 GPA, glowing evaluations, and the most perfect soap notes, that we're less worthy. But the truth is, perfection is not the point. It never was. The point is connection. And that's what makes New York Medical College different and so special. Connection with your cohort. Those are your people, the ones who get it, the ones who walk through every meltdown, every late night study session. Connection with your faculty, who might push you a little harder than you'd like, but who see something in you that's worth fighting for. Connection with your clients, who will trust you with their most vulnerable moments, even when you don't feel ready. And then connection with your community, because communication does not exist in a vacuum. We are here to serve real people with real lives. This program doesn't just teach you how to be a clinician. It teaches you how to listen, and not just with your ears, but with your whole heart. It teaches you how to see beyond the data, beyond the disorder, and into that person in front of you. And that skill is what sets you apart. Not your test scores, not your class rank, and not the amount of jargon that you can throw into a soap note. The best SLPs I've ever met are the ones who stay curious, who ask questions, who admit when they're wrong, and who show up with a heart, even when they don't have all of the answers. So as you put your white coats on tonight, I hope you feel the weight of it, but not as pressure, as purpose, not as a sign that you have to be perfect, but as a reminder that you've already come so far exactly as you are. You didn't earn this coat by being flawless. You earned it by showing up, by caring deeply, and by being willing to try again, even when it's hard. And when those inevitable moments come, when you feel behind, when there's doubt in your voice, when it feels like everyone around you has it all figured out, I hope you remember this, that you do not need to become someone else to belong in this field. You are not behind. You are not too quiet. You are not too sensitive, too slow, too unsure. You are not defined by your lowest grade or your hardest day. You're becoming. And becoming is messy. It's uncomfortable, but it is so incredibly brave. And that's exactly what this field needs. So if you're sitting here today wondering if you're going to make it, you already have. You made it here. You are still here, and you're doing so much better than you think. I cannot wait to see the clinician that you grow into. But do not wait until then to be proud of yourself. Be proud now. Be proud of the version that's learning, that's failing, that's making mistakes, and trying again. Be proud of the version of you who almost didn't apply to graduate school, the one who cried after their first session, but the one who stayed anyway. Because that version of you, they are worthy of this coat. They are worthy of this title, and they are worthy of this moment. So if you ever need a reminder, just look around this room. Your people are here. Your story is just beginning, and I promise you it's going to be a good one. So congratulations, future SLPs. Now go out there and be boldly, unapologetically, imperfectly you. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and go put on that white coat.
Okay, thank you so much to Samantha Walker for those words. All right, the moment you've been waiting for. We will now move forward with donning of the white coats. Okay, I'm going to invite Dr. Grover to the front here. If you could. I ask the students to start to line up. So I want to give all the family and friends, be ready for the photography and how it's going to go, okay? I'm going to invite individual faculty up one at a time. I'm going to ask Dr. Monica McHenry to begin. And she'll be standing over here. The students will walk to her for the coat to put it on. They'll shake Dr. Grover's hand, then they'll stand right here for a picture. So you have your moments of photography and then they'll go back to their seats, okay? All right, are we ready to start? Okay, all right. Let's start with Elizabeth Adamita. Natalie Anderson. Nicole Beaumont. Shannon Denizio. Mackenzie Dowd. Veronica Duran. Julia Fian. Sarah Ferreira. Brenna Harold. Emma Helfrich. Ma'ab Khalifa. I'd like to now invite Dr. Kate Franklin to come up. Catherine Kashowska. Mitchell Maloney. Jaylene Martinez Garcia. Robin Masterson. Rachel McManus. Caitlin Mercarelli. Miriam Mohammed. Elena Muñoz. Jessica Ng. Olivia O'Connor. Leilani Orozco. I'd like to invite Professor Katie Ballerini. Come up. Jessica Osorio Rodriguez. Tanisha Pink. Aaron Rivera. Olivia Romagnoli. Sorry. Lola Schacht. Maria Spagna. Merrick Staff. Anne Marie Tucci. Danielle Therese Ty. Catherine Urenia. And Robbie Zamora. May I ask all students to please stand? Face your families and friends. Congratulations to the class of 2026. Put the oath on. Thank you. Students, you can remain standing and face the screen. And inviting Dr. Monica McHenry to come up and lead the class in reciting the pledge.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to say this, you say it after me. As I enter the profession of speech language pathology, I respectfully and willingly pledge the following. I will commit myself to the ethical, responsible, and diligent practice of speech language pathology. I will respect and uphold the laws and regulations that govern my profession. Adhere to its ethical principles. And accept the profession's self-imposed standards. I will faithfully honor the inherent dignity of all. And treat those who depend on my help. With respect, consideration, and appreciation for our diversities. I will hold paramount the welfare of persons I serve. As well as those who are participants in research and scholarly activities. I will always protect the rights and confidentiality of those who seek my help. And act only for their benefit. I will continually strive to learn. Further my professional competence. Accurately share my knowledge with those who seek it. And advocate for the unmet communication and swallowing needs of the public. I will always conduct myself with dignity. Maintain collaborative and harmonious interprofessional relationships. And place service to humankind before personal or material gain. With honor and pride, I commit myself to the profession of speech language pathology.
Thank you. Students, you may be seated. Thank you everyone for attending this special ceremony today. As we conclude, I would like to make some final acknowledgements. So please join me in a round of applause one by one. Thank you to Michael Cotter and the audiovisual team. We have Juan and Michael here today. For their contributions to the success of the ceremony and all the assistance they provide. Thank you to our Chancellor, Dr. Halprin, to our Dean, Dr. Amler, to our Vice Dean, Dr. Johnson, for their support of our speech language pathology program. Thank you to the Division of Speech Language Pathology's dedicated faculty, clinical educators, and administrative staff for their unwavering support and dedication to the students' academic and clinical success. To Dr. Grover and Elizabeth Carrion for their diligent efforts in making this ceremony happen for our students. For all of the families and friends who are here who have offered and continue to offer such crucial support to our students. And finally, to the members of the class of 2026, congratulations. So this concludes our white coat ceremony. Thank you so much for coming. We're going to ask the students to please stay so we can take a picture, but we ask family and friends, you can go on out and exit, and they'll be out with you momentarily. Thank you so much again.